Welcome back to English B Honeysuckle Unit 3. You know that for our convenience, we have divided the whole story into 3 parts. The first part was discussed in the previous video. Today, we are going to discuss the second part of the story, that is from the 6th to the 10th paragraph. Before going into the discussion today, here are a few pointers for you to note. Recapitulations of the previous class, the model reading of the second part, meaning of difficult words and expressions, discussions with short questions and answers to understand the passage, summarization of the paragraphs discussed today. Recapitulating the previous lesson. Taro, a Japanese young woodcutter, is devoted to his parents. He earns much less than is necessary to give his father the best life. One cold day, his father wishes for a cup of sake, a costly drink. Taro becomes sadder upon realizing that it is next impossible unless he works extra hours to earn more money. So he gets up earlier than usual and goes to the forest for chopping wood. He walks for a long time when he hears the sound of overflowing water nearby. Now, the model reading of the second part, that is from the 6th to the 10th paragraph. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock. Kneeling at a place where the water flowed quietly, he cupped a little in his hand and put it to his lips. Was it water or was it sake? He tasted it again and again, and always it was the delicious sake instead of cold water. Taro quickly filled the pitcher he had with him and hurried home. The old man was delighted with the sake. After only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. That afternoon, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. Taro's father politely offered her a cup of the sake. The lady drank it greedily and thanked the old man. Then Taro told her the story of the magic waterfall. Thanking them for the delicious drink, she left in a hurry. By nightfall, she had spread the story throughout the whole village. That evening, there was a long procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house. Each man heard the story of the waterfall and took a sip of the sake. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty. Next morning, Taro started for work even earlier than the morning before. He carried with him the largest pitcher he owned, for he intended first of all to go to the waterfall. When he reached it, he found to his great surprise all his neighbors there. They were carrying pitchers, jars, buckets, anything they could find to hold the magic sake. Then one villager knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. He drank again and again and then shouted angrily, "Water, nothing but water!" Others also tried, but there was no sake, only cold water. There are some new and difficult words in the passage. Let us find out their meanings and explanations. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock. Kneeling at a place where the water flowed quietly, he cupped a little in his hand and put it to his lips. Was it water or was it sake? He tasted it again and again, and always it was the delicious sake instead of cold water. The words that may need explanations are waterfall, a flow of water or cascade or a cataract, hidden, located out of sight, kneeling, bending knees, cupped, took some water in his hands as if in a cup, ', delicious, very tasty. Now the short questions on the part I have just read out. Where is Taro now? He is near a waterfall in the forest. What did he do there? He took some water in his hands and sipped. Why did he taste the water repeatedly? The water tasted like the sake. So he wanted to be sure if it was not ordinary water. Was it because he was so thirsty that the ordinary water tasted the delicious sake? Let us proceed to find the answer. So, the 7th paragraph. Taro quickly filled the pitcher he had with him and hurried home. The old man was delighted with the sake. After only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. Now, what means? Pitcher, an earthen pot. Hurried, rushed, delighted, greatly pleased, or filled with wonder. Swallow, devour, or allow to pass down the throat. Draught, a single act of drinking. Now the short questions. What did Taro do? He filled the pitcher with sake and quickly ran home. How did the old man, that is his father, feel to see the sake? He was happy beyond words to see the sake. What happened to the old man when he drank a little of the sake? He stopped shivering. How did he show his happiness? He started dancing a little in the middle of the floor. What happened then? Let us go to the next paragraph and find the answer. That afternoon, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. Taro's father politely offered her a cup of sake. The lady drank it greedily and thanked the old man. Then Taro told her the story of the magic waterfall. Thanking them for the delicious drink, she left in a hurry. By nightfall, she had spread the story throughout the whole village. Now the word meanings and explanations. Neighbor, a person living nearby. Visit, a single act of meeting. Politely, in a gentlemanly manner. Offered, gave, or put forth. Greedily, as if asking for more and more. Magic water, charming water. Now the short questions. Who and why did he come to the old man's home? A woman from the village came to see the old man. What did the old man offer the woman? The old man offered the woman a drink. How did the woman behave in return? She thanked him. What did the woman do after leaving Taro's home? She spread the story of the magic drink. Who told her the story? Taro told her the story. What happened as the woman told the villagers of her experience at Taro's home? Let us now proceed to the next part for the answer. That evening there was a long procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house. Each man heard the story of the waterfall and took a sip of the sake. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty. The word meanings. Procession, a retinue, or a group of people moving along in an orderly manner. Sip, a small mouthful of drink. Empty, containing nothing, or vacant. That evening, which evening is being talked of here? The evening in which the village woman paid a visit to the old man's home is being talked of here. Why was there a long procession to the woodcutter's house? The village people grouped together and came to see if what the woman had told them was true. What was offered to each one in the procession at Taro's house? Each of them was offered a little draught of sake. What two things did each one of the procession get at Taro's house? The two things they got were the magic drink and the story of it. Why was the pitcher empty? The pitcher was empty because the visitors were served the sake from the same pitcher. What followed next? Next morning, Taro started for walk even earlier than the morning before. He carried with him the largest pitcher he owned, for he intended first of all to go to the waterfall. When he reached it, he found to his great surprise all his neighbors there. They were carrying pitchers, jars, buckets, anything they could find to hold the magic sake. Then one villager knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. He drank again and then shouted angrily, "Water, nothing but water." Others also tried, but there was no sake, only cold water. The word meanings now. Owned, possessed, intended, planned or wished, surprise, wonder or amazement, magic, mystery power, knelt, sat with folded knees, held, placed. Now short questions. Why did Taro start for work earlier than usual? Taro wanted to earn some extra money. For this he had to cut extra wood and it needed extra time. So he started for the work earlier than usual. What did he carry with him this time? He carried the largest pitcher that he had at home. Why did Taro carry the largest pitcher? He did so to carry home the sufficient sake. What surprised him at the waterfall? The sight of the villagers in a large number surprised him. Why have the villagers gone there? They have gone there to collect the magic drink. One of the villagers knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall. Why? He did so to drink and test if it was the sweet drink that they were offered at Taro's home. What did he say finally? He angrily said that it was ordinary water. Let us sum up the major points we have learnt in the story so far. Taro reaches the source of the sound of water to discover a small yet stunningly beautiful casket. He cannot help drinking the liquid as he reaches there thirsty and finds with a surprise that it is not ordinary water but the sake, the costly drink. Excited, he starts filling his pitcher with it and moves homeward in a hurry. His father feels happy as he sees the pitcher full of sake. One sip of the drink stops his shivering. Even in happiness, he starts dancing. On that very day comes a woman from the village to their house. They offer her the sake and tell her about the magic casket. Soon the story reaches every nook and corner of the village. Everyone round the village pays a visit to Taro and the content in the pitcher empties in no time. The next morning, the entire village runs to the magic water source, carrying pitchers, jars and buckets, even before Taro. However, they find the truth that the liquid tastes like ordinary water. This much is for today. We'll meet again in the next class.